Welcome to Introduction to Audit Data Analytics. My name is Garth Sharif, and I'm excited to be taking you through this introduction course on data analytics and really audit data analytics. And the big part to this program is to understand what audit data analytics is. Analytics, the word, is in our standards, the Canadian auditing standards. We have substantive analytics, preliminary analytics, review analytics, and we also have analytics that we use in terms of averages, means, variance analysis throughout the audit for purposes of gathering evidence. But audit data analytics is different. And what's very interesting about ADA is that there is no standard for audit data analytics. And I've been working in the profession for over 20 years. The main ways in which I've experienced gathering evidence is through Canadian Auditing Standard 500, which is inspection, confirmation, recalculation, reperformance, inquiry, observation, and Canadian Auditing Standard 520 and 530, sampling and substantive analytics. But those aren't audit data analytics. Those are ways in which we have traditionally gathered evidence. But audit data analytics is something other than those. And there isn't a standard currently in place to address the use of audit data analytics. So we're at this interesting phase of the audit process where we are looking at this way of gathering evidence, which really is a difference between our traditional mindset for evidence gathering. So part of this program and why it's an introduction is the mindset change. For me, working in the profession for over 20 years, this has taken some time to understand what it means for audit data analytics and how we can integrate it into the audit. We'll talk about some of the challenges and barriers to this and why it isn't currently part of the profession as something that we do regularly using audit data analytics for evidence gathering. But the big part of this program is the change in our mindset, or at least being open to using audit data analytics.